Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Haunted Router. I, of course, am Jeff, and this is Ben, the wonderful and chaos-driven. Before we started streaming this, I guess filming this, Ben had somebody shoot, popping off their 9 in the alleyway next to his house. He had to, stop. We had to reset up because somebody was, he hit the floor. Okay, it wasn't that crazy, but he did run into the other room. Was like, "Hey, cops, you should probably take care of this guy because this is crazy."
If there's a long cut in the middle of the episode, it's because something happened.
Yeah, if I gotta replace Ben with a different model because he got hit with a blicky, you'll know why. Because of the blicky, obviously. But yeah, that was the interesting setup. Anyways, we have four. We're gonna try to get to 4 stories today on the sub. We got some pretty good ones pulled up. The first one here is from Top Gain 2728. I realized last time that when I looked at their profile, sometimes they have their name, so I'm gonna start trying to read the author's name that way. I don't know if you knew that, Ben, but I looked at it recently. I was oh, poop.
I just usually like to go by the author name because, or not the author name, but I usually just go by the Reddit name whenever I'm crediting stuff because I figure that the user will Google that if they're that interested.
Yeah,
or they can come look on the HauntedRouter subreddit.
We also put it on the description too. So, so we with all of these ones, anything out the subreddit, it's multi-layered layers of accreditation going. I mean, like I said, like we've said that we're doing only from the subreddit for a while until we get through all the stories. So most of what you're seeing here, you can find on the subreddit anytime, and also you can check out their names. I mean. We did credit his name because DG Wheatthick for Gargothicon. I'm looking through all the names. But the first story is from Top Game 2728. It's called TV Channel 557. I'm pretty excited for this one because I just recently watched Channel Zero. Do you know what Channel Zero is?
That's an analog horror thing, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a different
channel. It was a sci-fi original series. Which I already know your mind's probably garbage. That's trash. Anything sci-fi. I mean, they went through a garbage. They went through a garbage era there, in the 2010s.
What channels don't?
Yeah, they went pretty bad after Stargate stopped going off. They went off the deep end. They're like, we don't have a new Stargate to make Atlantis.
But no decline can be as bad as TLC and History Channel. So.
Oh, dude, awful, so bad. But Channel Zero, each season's off of a creepypasta.
Oh, cool.
So the first one's off of Candle Cove, which is basically these people remember this show from their childhood with these creepy puppets, and it was called Candle Cove, and it was I like stuff like that. There's another one that's called 1998 or something like that with a creepy teddy bear. I've always loved the aesthetic of a creepy TV show, or a creepy channel. So I was really excited when I saw this on Reddit, especially with watching Channel Zero. So I'm so excited to get into this one.
All right, TV channel 557. I used to watch a lot of TV when I was a kid. Not in a normal way like tuning in after school or catching cartoons on Saturday morning. I mean I watched TV all day long, every day, sun up to sundown. I was sick. Not dying or anything, just one of those weird childhood immune conditions that kept me indoors. I missed a lot of school, missed birthdays, missed people. My skin was pale from never seeing the sun, and I had this raspy cough that followed me like a ghost. I didn't have friends, so I had TV. It became my world, my routine, my comfort, until Channel 557 ruined everything. I was 8 years old the first time I found it. We had a bulky old cable box, black with red LED numbers on the front. I remember the satisfying click of the remote as I flipped through endless channels, most of them static or soap operas or shows I didn't understand.
I'm gonna read Channel 1 to 556. Boring! Channel 557? That one was different.
There was no preview, no logo, no sound. Just black for a few seconds and then it started. The first thing I remember was seeing a room, just a plain dimly lit room with cement walls and no windows, like a basement. A single camera stationary, pointed directly at the center, and in the center, a child. He was sitting on a wooden chair, pale, quiet, probably younger than me. His hands were tied behind his back, duct tape over his mouth. I remember thinking it was weird, maybe a movie, maybe something I wasn't supposed to be watching, but it wasn't flashy or cinematic. No music, no transitions, no edits, just silence, raw video.
You know what would make it scarier though? If it was face on neck.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Face directly on neck. Yeah.
Yeah, if he had like a long neck and it was face on it, it would be so much scarier of a story. Just a quick like editor note. Editor note there, face on neck makes everything scarier. But so far, I'm pretty locked in. I'm not cutting in with my joke or whatever. That's creepy. And this is what I love about the finding the random TV show thing, because like you scroll through weird TV, you know, you just gotta stumble on stuff sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. You see some weird like thumbnail name or something like that on a website one night when you're in your young teens.
Dude, speaking of that, I looked up like cheats for RE4. Like I was like looking at all the RE4 stuff because I'm playing that right now, and dude, for some reason, YouTube had recommended it was just all topless black women, like naked black women, and it was like, the video was like about like African women getting water or something. Like I was like, why are there topless women? And I clicked on it. I was like, how do I get demonetized all the time? And these guys, I was like, this is just porn at this point.
That's directly linked to RE4 cheats.
Yeah, no, it was like if I was looking at RE5, maybe
yeah, there we
then
go.
It would make sense. But why are
mods?
It was obviously AI image too, because all of their legs like were melding together, right? It's like they put into the AI generator topless black women, and that was the thumbnail. Like I was like, how is this happening, bro?
You're like, so I watched 10 hours.
After the 45th hour, I'm going to let you know there is no topless woman in that video. Very disappointing. I put in the hour for you guys. You thought I was gonna play.
At the point, it was just like the brainwashing material.
Yeah. It was just. I feel like I need to go bring water to. That's what happened to Mr. Beast, bro. He watched 45 hours hoping for topless women, and instead decided to bring water to Africa.
I just like that we're like 10 minutes into this podcast and we already have like a kid getting murdered on a fucking snuff channel.
Yep.
That's the beauty of HauntedRouter, folks. Sometimes you log in, you get like a long series where it's like 2.5 hours before scary stuff, and then sometimes, and with us joking the whole time, and then sometimes it's just like straight to this.
Yeah, no,
the boy looks scared.
I definitely wanted to cut in with a joke there because I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes a little.
Yeah, enough film territory. What was that Nicolas Cage movie? 8mm.
8mm.
That movie still scars me to this day.
The boy looked scared. His eyes darted around like he could hear something I couldn't. Then, after a few minutes, a man walked in. He wore all black, hoodie, boots, gloves, and a mask, plain, white, like those featureless theater masks. The only visible part of him was a shock of greasy brown hair that hung out from the top of his hood. He didn't say a word. He walked up behind the boy and he slit his throat. Just like that. No build-up, no hesitation. One quick movement, red everywhere. The boy jerked and twitched and made this horrifying gurgling sound behind the tape. Jesus fucking Christ. Blood sprayed across the floor in an arc. He kicked the chair legs until they snapped. I screamed. I dropped the remote. My heart raced so fast I thought I might pass out, but I couldn't look away. I told my mom, and she didn't believe me. She said it was probably a horror movie or some prank show. She even sat with me to watch it, flipping through the channels with me. But channel 557 was gone. It just showed static. She left the room annoyed. But the next night, it came back. And this time, it was a girl. She looked about 10. Blonde hair, pigtails, pink pajamas with unicorns. Same setup, same room, same silence. She was crying. The man came in again, same mask, same clothes. He stood behind her for a full 2 minutes. Didn't move. He just stood there, like he was waiting. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a box cutter. I'll never forget the sound she made. He started at her cheek, slicing a deep red line from mouth to ear. Then the other side. She screamed behind the gag. Her eyes were so wide I thought they'd pop out of her skull. And then God, I remember him grabbing her tongue, pulled it out with gloved fingers,
No more sounds.
and cut it off. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I added sounds for one ambiance. For two, it was kind of funny. But Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
We're gonna have to put a viewer discretion thing before this one,
No.
man. Like, seriously.
You
Okay,
know what
fine.
this reminds me of? You know,
We'll put this one up as made for kids.
yeah, dude, this one was made for kids. I mean, if they could
It's
put,
about kids.
they could do thumbnails with topless women and then just have them get water. I mean, they had like 500,000 views.
Just have them get in water.
It sounds like I was disappointed
It's
there
after my
weren't.
Roblox cheats.
It sounds like I'm disappointed there wasn't naked women, but at the same, it wasn't that. I was like, how are they getting away with this? It's because they uploaded the video, and then the thumbnail later is what I'm guessing. And with that, I'm distracted. You know what this reminds me of? Remember like the Pain Olympics era of the internet?
Yeah, yeah.
That was awful.
But those people were doing it to themselves.
Yeah, not always. There was a ton of ISIS beheading videos.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. I guess that was the same era of the internet. Yes,
Yeah, so
where
it
they
was
were
like-
uploading like
it was
the
like-
setting people on fire in cages and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. You would like be scrolling and all of a sudden it would be like the most violent thing you'd ever seen in your life and you just like locked in and you couldn't stop watching and it was like and there's like people who are like they don't like when they like a story does grotesque stuff. It's like it's too much or it's like not too much but it's like I don't even know the word where people are like it takes away from the horror. It's like the people who say that like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is better than the remake, which is kind of retarded. I'm sorry if you watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you think it's better than the remake, you have like a brain tumor or something and you need to get checked out. That movie's awful. It is so bad. It is not good. But what I mean is like I think the reaction I'm getting from that is or this right now is because of it, the violence in this, I think it pulls harder. Now, some people
Well,
keep
yeah,
in it,
doing a kid tied to a chair that's getting hacked up is
yeah, no,
that's pretty direct.
It's pretty direct. It makes me uncomfortable. It's violent. It's gross. It's very Saw-like, and I know some people don't like that. They would rather just like the knife start at the throat and then it closed to black, so you're left. Or I had to turn away, and you're left.
Oh, right.
Put in all the pieces yourself. But sometimes I think you need this imagery. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of like sometimes you just gotta show it. A lot of people are like you gotta like let them film. Sometimes you gotta show it because it has a harder impact. And right when I saw this, I thought about going to my friends' houses, and then we'd be like scrolling through early days of
BME.
Reddit and all this stuff, and just like stop and see some dude like cutting himself up, and you're like, oh my god. Oh no, and it was like the Pain Olympics, and it was just like an endless rabbit hole of disgusting horrors that was going on. Well, live wire time and stuff like that. Or Live Leak? What was it?
Live Leak,
Livewire was
Rotten.com.
Rotten.com and stuff like that, which those I don't even.
That was a good one.
I don't even think any of
No,
them
those are down now.
Yeah,
No more shock sites.
and I think like the era of shock sites is dead, you know. But there was a time where that was the internet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there
that-
was people just posting shit just because.
Mhm.
Like
And-
there was I don't think they were getting anything from that.
Yeah, and like the guy who blended up all the cats and then killed somebody, like there is so much wild stuff going on, and that's what I think this is like encapsulates for me, especially with like seeing it on him seeing the footage. Just 'cause I don't think anybody was ready to see that at the time.
No.
I wasn't.
No, dude, when you like after you clicked on, there was like your life before that and then your life after that.
Yeah,
like
dude.
it was different.
You
There was
see
a
it-
little bit of a difference there.
You see a guy pull a screwdriver through his own penis, you're like, I don't know if I can go back to before screwdriver penis. I don't think. I think my childhood's over. I think.
Right.
I think.
The next day, like you're at school, that's just like all you're thinking about. Like they're just drawing like numbers on the blackboard, and you're just like,
I saw a man pull a screwdriver through his penis.
yeah.
To this day, I will never forget that video. That was the one that got me the most. You just like pull. And the worst part is it was like he pulled the whole handle through his like and like that type of stuff lives with me. And I think that's why this is getting to me. Also, when it has to do with kids, it's just tough, especially with me having a kid, dude. I just think about that. Like, you think you're gonna be Liam Neeson, but like, are you though? Are you gonna get
No.
there in time? Because all those other girls didn't have their parents show up in time. Only Liam
These
Neeson.
parents aren't.
So I hope I'd be the guy to show up on time, but you don't know, and that's
Well,
scary.
that's where it like points out in the story. It's like there's no music, no transitions, no editing. Like there's no like music that's like the kid's like breathing all heavy and they're like, shut up, we're about to kill this kid on camera, and then
Yeah.
like Liam Neeson's like up in the vents like, I'm coming to save you. And then he's like gonna like jump out and like karate kick the guy's head off and do a backflip and save the day.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
It's not happening.
Right here we got, she thrashed so hard the chair tipped over. Blood pooled like syrup across the concrete. Her body convulsed like a fish out of water. And then it cut to black. Just black. No credits, no explanations, nothing. This went on for weeks. Always at night. Always at the same time around 3 a.m. I started setting alarms to wake up just to see it. I don't know why. Morbid curiosity? Some fucked up trauma response? Each episode was worse. Episode. We're calling them episodes now.
Well, I mean...
One boy was...
Again, dude.
I guess, yeah.
After
we call these episodes,
After you saw the first thing on Livewire, or Live Leak, did you go back?
Honestly?
So, I didn't, but like...
I don't remember. I really don't actually remember. To be completely honest, that's a good question, though.
I feel like whenever...
I don't think I went, like, seeking that stuff out, but, like,
it
whenever it would come around, I would, like, find it.
But you know what I mean? Like, when somebody would be like, yo, check out this new video I just saw. And
yeah,
you would see the site, you would know what it was going to be, and you watched anyway.
Yeah, because, I mean, it would usually be, like, descriptive. Like, these two guys cut off a dude's head in the woods. You're like, I wonder what happens in this one.
and then
Liam Neeson comes running out and saves him. Like, what the fuck, dude? Dramatic irony.
You were my daughter. It's just an old, drunk, homeless man.
Some guy. Yeah, it's some drunk, homeless man. Get your hands off my daughter. Like, we killed her weeks ago. Oh, wait. One boy was beaten with a hammer until his skull caved in like a watermelon. Like Gallagher. One girl had her hands sawn off, one by one, while she begged through blood and tears. One child, maybe 6, was burned alive. Tied to a chair, gasoline poured on his legs. The killer lit a match and stood back. I can still hear the screams. I never told anyone after that. I knew they wouldn't believe me. They'd say I was dreaming or making it up, or worse, that I was insane. But I knew what I saw. Channel 557 was real, and it was live. I only found out the truth 20 years later. I'm a writer now, true crime mostly. I've seen some shit, crime scene photos, interrogation tapes, autopsies, but nothing ever stuck with me like Channel 557. One night, I was going through old forum archives, deep web kind of stuff, and I found a thread titled,
"Anyone remember Channel 557?
My blood went cold. Inside were hundreds of comments, all just like mine. Different states, different cable providers, but all kids, all around 7 to 10 years old, all with the same stories. A mysterious unlisted channel, a masked man, children murdered. Some people claim their parents filed complaints. Some said police dismissed it as a prank. One user said their older brother saw it too, then disappeared 6 months later. And then, the post that changed everything. A user linked an article, an old buried news piece from 2001.
The FCC investigates signal piracy, local broadcast interference.
It claimed an unknown individual had hijacked public access frequencies using stolen hardware and redirected them to private cable channels, bypassing networks. It happened 8 times, in 8 different cities. The hijacker only ever appeared between 2 and 3 a.m. The victims? Missing children. All under 12. All matching the faces I'd seen. The killer was never caught. They called him...
the Phantom Broadcaster.
Alright, that completely undermined the rest of the story. I sat in my dark apartment that night.
Okay, so I've been looking up serial killers and stuff for like different videos, and there's some stupid names. We're gonna be real. They are not all like cool. You think because you watch Criminal Minds or Dexter or something, and you'll hear the cool names, right? No.
The eye fucker.
Yeah, no, they're all like. There's one guy that was called the Grim Sleeper, which is a cool name until you realize why they call him that. And it was just because he took like 10 years off. That was the Grim Sleeper. He was real big in the 80s, the 80s to the end of the 80s. Took the 90s off and came back in the 2000s. So they called him the Grim Sleeper.
Maybe we would call him Jeepers Creepers. We would like make fun of him so hard. We'd be like way more cynical now. See, that's the thing, dude, is back then when they called him like the Phantom Broadcaster or the Grim Sleeper, they were being like sincere with the naming though. They were like that's some cold shit, dude, the Grim Sleeper or some shit. But now we're like what are you, Jeepers Creepers? Like,
yeah. Well, also that there's like a few different reasons why. I don't want to get in a whole serial killer deep dive here, but one, serial killers aren't like as prevalent anymore because the media doesn't run them. Like the media used
Right.
to hype them up. Like if there was a couple killings in like the same town, they were like serial killer, and then they were like, let's hype this up to like 47. We're running every news channel. We got a sketch that looks nothing like him. We're going to blast this through the stratosphere. This is going to be the important thing we talk about for the rest of this. And that was the way it worked in the 70s and 80s. So a lot of it was like, just like over. And like most of them, it was like the location and killer, like the Green River Killer. There was one guy called the Sunday Slasher because he just killed women on Sunday, and it was like it was just like mostly the Sundown Slasher because it was like that Sundown, the Texas town. I can't remember what it was called, but they weren't that. They've never been creative with serial killer names. It was like Jack the Ripper is probably the most interesting serial killer name ever because I can't think of anybody who had like a cool. There's like the I-5 killer. He never got caught. BTK, but he named himself, and his name was stupid.
The New Orleans Axe Man.
That one's kind of tight. Like all these people.
Let's clarify. That's a pretty cool name.
Let's clarify real quick because I know there's gonna be some people because there's like this new thing.
These guys are all base.
No, these guys are
safe, you
though.
should strive to be just like serial killers.
Yeah, dude, 100%. That's what you should have goals in your life. No, fucking That's like when I think when people are like, well, like you talk about serial killers. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to glorify them. And it's like, okay,
we do.
Like, I'm just talking about.
We love Channel 557.
Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan. Actually, I actually have the tapes.
I'm looking it up after this.
I put my daughter in front of the TV, and I'm just like, this is for you, sweetheart. This will give you some hair on your chest.
I am the Phantom Broadcaster.
I am the Phantom Broadcaster.
I sat in my dark apartment that night and cried for the first time in years. It made sense now. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a movie. I watched real kids die. I watched actual murder as an 8-year-old, and I couldn't do anything. They never caught him. There was a lead once. A man found dead in Michigan with stolen satellite gear and a similar mask in his apartment, but the MO didn't match. Wrong, like this guy only killed prostitutes, it wasn't him. Wrong build, no evidence, just another dead end. For all anyone knows, he's still out there, still alive, still watching, still waiting. You want closure, right? You want the story to end with a name, a face, a courtroom. You won't get it here. Because real stories, they don't always end well. And this is one of those stories. One of the real ones. Where the ending is sad. Where the monster gets away. Where the trauma lives on forever. I walk with it every day. When I turn on the TV. Whenever I hear static. When I see a child smile, unaware of what the world hides behind closed doors. And sometimes, when the night is quiet, I still dream about that concrete room. About that white mask. Sometimes, I swear I see static flicker across my screen for a second. Just a flash, a reminder. So please, if your television ever tunes into channel 557, don't watch it. Turn it off. Smash the screen if you have to. Because if you keep watching, you'll never forget what you see. And if you're like me, you'll wish to God you had never turned it on in the first place.
Alright, decent story. Got some gripes though.
Bertle, got some gripes?
Yeah. You're a true crime writer, and you're just like, well...
They never found anything, and I gave up, and I cried.
Yeah, right? Right? Like, the story jumps the shark right away, right there. Like, you could tell... Okay, so this, and this is when I said, like, if you were going to do all this violence in the beginning, in, like, the first, like, half, you gotta follow it up with, like, some deeper investigation. Like, 7. You know how 7 did it. You don't have to have the happy
ending. It's gotta be dark and violent the whole way through.
Because like 7 didn't do the dark and violent the whole way through. It had it like, it would have like the dark and violent and then break it with investigation. Then the dark and violent and break it with investigation. And you think about like the most grotesque scene in the movie, right? And it's finding the fat guy. And like the disgusting room, that's like really violent. The next one wasn't as violent. Like it was like blood in a hotel, right? And then it went to, I think it was Sloth, right? It was
I don't remember the sequence. I just remember them with the guy in the whorehouse, and he's like, I fucked her! Yeah, he's like fucking spazzing the fuck out with the scalpel dick. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but like you think about like the how Seven did it and the brutality that's there. It shows everything and around the brutality, but it doesn't show the brutality. And it does
Yeah.
make Seven pretty brilliant in that regard. But if you're going to show it and you're going to have it early on, at least give me the investigation to like go past it, like to build more on it.
Yeah, I do wish that there was like more to what was going on. Like it was a nice little story for like being as short as it was and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like it was like really violent opening, like enough to grip you and stuff like that. And then he was like, then 20 years later,
I
I
gave up.
saw a Reddit post. Yeah, he gave up. He became a crime writer, but didn't really pursue that.
Yeah, I've seen all this stuff.
It was pretty good though. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing like when you say that you're a true crime writer now, and then you're like, shit, man, that was crazy, right? Crazy. It got pretty wild there. I remember when I was 8, I was crazy. Anyways, dude, I'm good on that.
Also, it said there was hundreds of comments and like hundreds of people were affected by this but like nobody followed up on any of it. This guy's just, oh, okay, what it is, this is number one killer. He killed 12 kids, got away with it. He still maybe hacks your TV every now and again just to remind you.
He just
So you
replays
stay on your
those
toes.
12. He just replays the videos for the 12. That's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
There
it's
was
like
no
the
need to.
Poughkeepsie Tapes movie, where he's like, oh, these are my tapes, and I haven't seen the Poughkeepsie Tapes movie. I just know that it's like a bunch of different murders, and then they catch the guy or whatever. But that was something I saw on Live Leak back in the day. Somebody was like, check this out, dude. This is a real killer, and I'm like, that's crazy. And then somebody else was like, that's from a movie called the Poughkeepsie Tapes. We were like in like middle school. We're like, oh my god, it's real. And then it's like somebody's like, that's from the Poughkeepsie Tapes. But
No, this guy I knew was like, man, I was watching that movie one time, dude, and I swear to God, I kept Googling, like, is this real or not? And I was like, it's not. I
that
haven't even
guy,
seen it.
sort of.
It is?
I mean,
Interesting.
so sort of. We're giving it like a super sort of. There was a serial killer in Poughkeepsie. Did he film anything? No. Did he kill
Hmm.
quite a few people? Yes.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
they
I
were
did not
like,
know that it was based on a real guy. That's fucking cool.
yeah, yeah. So there was a serial killer in Poughkeepsie, New York, and that was like the light basis to make the movie, The Poughkeepsie Tapes. And then they just kind of ran with their own idea. So there's probably more to it, but I haven't like looked into that since I was a freshman in high school when that shit was like interesting. Like that
Right.
was like the Poughkeepsie Tapes thing when that footage of like the face, the person with like looks up and it's all creepy and then stabs the needles. I think everybody looked up if it was real and if the Poughkeepsie killer was real, and then they saw yes on Ask Jeeves, and they're like, Poughkeepsie serial
Oh,
killer.
shit.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah. No, I think that as far as I ever got in that movie, it's like there's like a head sewn into a belly or something like that, and it's like the face is peeking out of the belly. But I forget what like I heard all this stuff that hyped it up about like how like crazy of a movie it was and stuff like that. And then when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this goes from being like really scary to being like legit, just like kind of comedically like gory and horrific and stuff. So I was like, this isn't.
I heard the movie just wasn't really good paced. I heard it just kind of
No, I don't
nonsense.
think it was.
So
It
I never
when I
watched
was
it.
watching it, it was just like they just kept like they keep bringing in these like experts, and they're like, "This is the craziest fucking shit you've ever seen in your life." And then it's like a guy who's like cuts off this dude's hands and put him where his feet are, and like that, and you're like, "Okay, like what the fuck are you talking about?" And then they're like, and this guy's like, "Man, I watched the Poughkeepsie tapes, and I just like had to get divorced immediately. Like I wanted to kill my wife every day or something like that." And then they're like, what was it? And they're like, this guy like sewed like a dolphin fin on a guy's back. You're like, is this Tusk or like what the fuck am I watching? Like I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't-
I saw that one clip. I was like, I'll get around to watching it, and then I heard like people tell me it wasn't really that
I'll get
good.
around to it.
And they're like, it's really
It's
not
one of
that
those. It is
good.
one of those.
And they're like, if you want something that kind of has the same vibe, watch VHS. It's actually good, and I watch VHS.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
VHS like 1 and 2 are really good movies.
They are. They are. I do like those. I was
haven't
thinking
seen
about those the
all
other
of them.
day.
There's like 8 now or something.
No, I started watching. Yeah, I started watching VHS 97 or 98 or something like that, and I didn't like the way it started. I was disappointed.
I
But
heard one of those is like 97 or 98 or something is actually really good. It has some like really good stuff in it. There's like
I might have to give it another shot then.
so Viral I heard wasn't very good. And then there's one after viral, and I don't know all of them, but I heard there's like one that's pretty solid out of the newer ones. But I don't have time to watch every single VHS movie. I got Preacher to watch, bro, and that stuff is fire. But yeah, no, this is a good story. This story reminded me of like early creepy, or not early creepypasta, but when like creepypasta started getting good. Like,
it'll definitely wake you up. If you came to the Haunted Router episode to just like chill out, we got a kid with their head beaten in with a hammer in the first story. So,
well, and what's crazy is I picked that story first because I thought it was gonna like soft lean in. I thought it was gonna like, oh.
Me too. I thought it was just gonna be a spooky channel. I thought it was gonna be a scary TV channel, like that shows scary images or something. We were correct.
Yeah.
I thought
it was gonna be
stomach churning.
Our second story from Soft Leadership 8496 is called Dennis Got a Gun, and the first line was, "It was October 1st of 1967, and the campus of Montauk University sat quiet." So when I saw that line, I said, there's a chance that this is going to be a school shooter story. And
escalation.
And that's like, I felt like that was good, and then we could go on to other stuff after. And we got escalation right away. But I'm excited to get into this other one. I mean, like, big fucking nipples to top gains. I liked your story. I think that if you redrafted and made it longer, it would be way better. I want to see some investigation on this. Put that fucking true crime writer to work. But let's get into Dennis Got a Gun.
Let's see what happens. It was October 1st of 1967, and the campus of Montauk University sat quiet and still in the new morning hours. The sky was dark, street lamps bright, and all students living on campus were asleep. Except, of course, for two figures who sauntered down the sidewalk towards the campus radio tower. A puny little man hauled his long carrying case and walked behind the twisting, dancing clown that joined him. It was October 1st of 1967, and Dennis Wesley wanted the pressure around Harold Buchanan's brain to squeeze out of the dime-sized hole that Dennis would leave in his skull. Now, that beautiful morning air kissing the skin of his cheeks as he hauled his rifle bags into the parking lot of the radio tower, he could almost taste the satisfaction on his tongue.
Ant,
he whispered. The nearly silent words crept and bounced off the cement walls of the stairwell as he climbed further and further. He felt the weight of his cargo press and rub against his shoulder, and he pushed his glasses further up the bridge of his nose. Bogo had already been standing on the first platform before the next set of stairs, the makeup on the clown's face showing pale under the fluorescent lights wired into the concrete ceiling. I thought it was being exaggerating when it said clown. No, we got an actual fucking clown bouncing along with this guy. Okay, all right, cool. Dennis looked at his friend, watching as his silk glove crooked a finger and beckoned him further.
Oh my god, Terrifier. They did the Terrifier thing. Yeah,
It's Terrifier plus the Tower Shooter of the 1960s. Yeah, nice, dude.
Yeah. I know, buddy. I know it's the asthma.
Bogo nodded, silently mocking an impression of someone struggling to breathe, hands around his neck.
Very funny, Bogo.
It was Bogo's idea to get up to the tower early. Dennis hadn't realized how many watchmen were on the lookout for guys with guns after the Texas University incident the year before. Funny though, Bogo knew that the shift change around 5 o'clock was empty today. Bogo knew that Eric Grayson, night guard on campus, would be calling out sick due to a nasty hangover he'd earned the night before. Good old Bogo, always a step ahead. Dennis watched the back of the clown's striped red coveralls as one step followed another, all the while listening to a sweet melody whistled from between the clown's lips.
I'm a Yankee, this is my Yankee Doodle Joy.
The song reminded Dennis of his father, and he laughed to think of how proud the old soldier would be seeing his only son holding that World War II rifle in victory over all those damn ants below.
Can't let 'em bully, boy. They're all just horses. They pull the tractor, you run the farm, you understand?
And Dennis did. His father ran the farm, his grandfather had ran the farm, and now it was Dennis's turn to show the world what his family was about.
Jesus.
Nobody else seemed to understand, though. That was the trouble. Coming into university, he expected to be greeted by those simpleton legacy children with open arms. But that hadn't been what happened. No. Instead, he had found a hall built in his grandfather's name, being led by one of those lowly damn horses. It was the college's fault, of course. They'd been so proud to grant the idiot entry into such a refined and dignified school. Now the grunt was playing president all over the functions of the fraternity. Dennis should have been the leader of the party. It was his birthright, after all. He had daydreamed of late-night wine parties and tennis matches dominated by his expert form and strategy. But instead, he was let low under the boot of some troglodyte. He had no family. He had no legacy. But there he was, all the same, the apple of every girl's eye and the best friend of every member of the fraternity. Some dumb twist of fate had robbed Dennis of that shining spot in the hall named after his family. Some dumb luck placed upon a stupid, low-class nobody. Dennis would rectify this. Dennis had remembered that what his father did when his crew boys got too rowdy when the dip happened in '59. They wanted time off. They wanted benefits. But nobody wanted anything after the fire at Plant B. No, sir, just like his father had said.
There are worse things they could have worried about.
Not
Not
a
a peep
peep.
after that, no sir. Things went along according to plan. Oh, I was you. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay. So Dennis decided to give his problem something worse to worry about. As he rounded that final turn and saw the door to the roof, Bogo held it open with an arm, the other guiding a path to the outside while the clown humbly grinned ear to ear. Dennis returned his smile.
A lot of fireworks going off today, buddy.
There was that cold morning air again. It spilled into the building and spat against the thin fabric of Dennis's button-up. The sky was dark. The tops of pines around Campus Square lined the black spread on the horizon. He noticed a dome of hot yellow light crowning the mountains in the east, and Dennis smiled. He stepped through the doorway. I like that this story, what I'm imagining is that this story is just two, like, you remember The Outsiders?
Yeah.
Like the movie? It's just two, like, Soches. Like,
Yeah.
there's just, like, one, like, rich kid with, like, a pompadour, and he's like, I'm way pompadourier than you, and my dad's name's on the building. My tennis form is perfect. I should be the leader of these wine parties. And, like,
It's
the other one's
literally
like,
Animal House, the horror story.
yeah, he's just, like, these stuffy, they're like, well, Higgins, my father was leading the cricket team.
Be really nice to see you play tennis with a hole in your head, Rigsby.
That's what it is, he's just like, then I'll just shoot you in the face. Dennis, smashing! Dennis took a seat on the lip of the tower roof, planting the ass of his slacks onto the white brick and feeling the morning dew that had clung to it seep into the cloth. He shivered, feeling his wet ass, feeling a gust of wind whip his hair to the side. The pompadour, bro, there it is. Side and fog the lenses of his glasses. Oh, God. He looked down below, seeing the streetlights outside the fraternity house and the old university building light the ground below in a blanket of orange. Despite the black above, rising out of sheer spite from the dark, was the telltale arms of the sun, reaching out from the horizon.
He'll be out here soon.
Dennis thought.
He'll come out of those old doors and slip into the sidewalk for his morning run. The sweaty ape. Then I'll pop him. He'll turn like a burnt battery right there in the street. Yes, sir. He'll be alone on the asphalt, linking into a big puddle all alone. A quiet nothing gonna wait, that's all.
Dennis thought of a joke and turned to Bogo, who was busying himself with setting the rifle to exact measures and testing the sight.
It'll be a big red parade, Bogo, right down the street.
Said Dennis, and he laughed again. Bogo turned to him with his brow flat with disinterest and nodded with a half-hearted grin. Dennis repeated himself under his breath.
Ant.
Dennis met Bogo the day of his 7th birthday. It had been a quiet, dead afternoon when Dennis had spotted the old clown pretending to tend to the roses in his mother's beautiful garden. Dennis had been wearing a small party hat that the groundskeeper had given him that morning, the only gift he'd received or would receive. Dennis had asked his mother to send invitations to his classmates, to decorate the house with streamers and candles, but she hadn't. When he'd awoken that morning, it was all he could do not to cry when he found the great white walls of the estate just as bare as they had been the day before. No one came to the door. No one called to wish him a happy birthday. I hate Dennis. But Dennis had found the one thing his parents had.
Like, so there's an old clip of DS. You know what DSP is, right? DSP gaming.
Yes, yes.
So DSP was
This
like,
is DSP, dude. It's
yeah,
Dennis.
he was
bro.
like, my parents didn't get me the Wolverine action figure I wanted. I told them it was gonna be sold out, and they said they wouldn't give me for it right then. I said you would get it for me and then give it to me at Christmas, but they didn't, and I didn't get the toy. I still think about this to this day. He was like 8. And he's still complaining about the toy he didn't get when he was 8 years old. Like, dude, you're like 50.
Dude, what if like off camera in DSP's streams, like there was this fucking killer clown standing there?
Yeah, just
Bogo's like, blame your audience again. You're not gonna stream until they give you $5.
why don't
He's like,
you
oh, I don't want to. I love my viewers. And he's like, we're never gonna act like that. Oh boy.
That would be
I love me
perfect,
some
bro.
DSP, dude. He's my favorite.
Well, between talking about his gout, dude, he's just like dabbing it up with Bogo, bro.
When he's woken that morning, okay. He's bitching about a birthday, but Dennis had found the one thing his parents had apparently not forgotten, standing in the thicket of plush rose hedges. A clown. That's where you put him. When he introduced the man to his parents, they sent him off to his room for playing a bad joke. When Bogo displayed his incredible talent for balloon animals to the children at school, they all ignored him. They cruelly shunned and mocked the poor little boy until he decided that they weren't worth the effort anyway. When Dennis had finally begun high school, he'd already accepted his friend's invisibility. Bogo was a friend that was his and only his. Bogo would paint, cast shadow puppets, and tell Dennis stories to lull him to sleep nightly. Oh shit. Bogo.
I just love. So this story's good. I liked where the story's going. I actually thought it gets way better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was good. Like, it is what I thought it was gonna be, but it isn't at the same time, right? I didn't know there was gonna be a clown. I did feel it was gonna get manifesto-y, but it bounces. The clown makes the manifesto-y less. I don't know, that weird edgy thing that people like to do. You know, it's like, I'm gonna do the manifesto thing, yeah. And they're basically just writing Columbine. This one's like, this one is way more goofy, and it works because of that goofiness. Like, you know, dude, what it makes me think of? Go ahead.
Well, it is just so funny to me that, like, the time jump, like, put it into, like, a perspective that I don't think was intentional, but made me laugh so hard. It was like the 8-year-old boy who's, like, deranged on the family estate, and they forget his birthday. It probably wasn't even his fucking birthday, to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about this, it probably was like, it's July, and his birthday's in, like, January or some shit, and he's like, I want a clown! And, like, turns around and, like, but then there's, like, this killer clown standing in the bushes, and then it time jumps to him, like, in high school, where he's still hanging out with this fucking clown. Like, dude, that's so funny to me, dude. Like, he's in it would have been like scarier, I think, that if it was like Bogo came back when things got bad or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but no, it's just like, nope, this is just his best buddy. He's accepted that Bogo is a thing. He knows he's fucking crazy then at this point.
Yeah, but he's like,
shooting a guy at this school is a totally fucking the right idea. And let me just joke and josh with old Bogo over here while I'm setting up for it. You've been living with this condition, my friend. You know that people know that he's not there.
Why wasn't I the leader of the fraternity? Shut up, Bogo.
Like, this is what I've been saying all along, Dennis. We gotta teach him a lesson. And he's like, oh, you were right every fucking day of my life. Yeah.
He's having this conversation, everybody at the fraternity is like, God, if he wasn't a legacy, he would not be here.
They're like, if we got rid of him, there'd be like 10 times the girls. They're like, Dennis scares every hoe off with talk about his ghost clown or whatever.
Yeah, dude, he's over in the corner painting Bogo, and the chicks are like naked. They already start putting clothes on and leaving. They're dipping out. They're like, nope, not hanging out with Bogo or the weird clown boy over there.
The clown boy. They're like, and he's like, no.
The clown guy? Yeah, he one time drew, like, the Bogo's face over top of a naked woman. And also, she had, like, such a wide vagina. No vagina's that wide. Has he never seen a woman naked? They're like, no, he's the clown guy.
No, he hasn't.
His vagina was just a circle and drawn black. It looked like somebody just scribbled a scribble where a vagina should be. That's weird.
He's doing, like, the kid from The Ring thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like, thinking. Going, like, through a whole fucking charcoal pen.
It's just charcoal. It's like perfectly naked woman, and then one of the vagina is just like and some stuff, and then just Bogo's head on top of it.
Nope.
Hey, ladies, what do you think of this awesome picture? I could draw you like that. What do you think?
And they're like, we don't like it. And he's like, he's just internalizing that. Like, but the last thing is that Bogo lulls him to sleep with stories, and he's a grown-ass man at this point.
Yeah.
And that's fucking awesome. He's like, did I tell you the story about the stranger? He's like, no. He's like, sit on your hand, Dennis. I'm gonna tell you something. Bogo was always there, even when you're pooping. And Dennis didn't care if no one else wanted to be by his side. As Dennis take two. As Dennis stared out the doors of the old colonial fraternity, Bogo waddled over and sat next to him on the brick. He let the barrel of the rifle rest against the crook of his elbow like a sleeping infant, and the clown pursed its lips and mocked a game of peekaboo with the firearm. The clown's big white party hat swayed in the breeze, and a silk glove reached in vain for it as the wind carried it away and down to the street below. Bogo puffed his cheeks and frowned like an angry toddler, blowing a raspberry at his fallen piece of attire as it tumbled with the pine needles and leaves on the sidewalk.
That's okay, buddy. I'll get you another one.
Dennis reached over and patted Bogo on the shoulder, who nodded and pretended to wipe a tear from the corner of his eye. The two sat there as the sun finally peeked its face over the mountains.
Wait.
Then suddenly, the old... Oh, God.
Wait, I just have one thing. Do you think him and Bogo have had imaginary sex? Because if
That's the lull to sleep.
yeah,
That's why he's lulling to sleep with the stories. He's like, oh, you can't sleep, Dennis? Turn over on your back, and I'm gonna whisper a story in your ear.
Dude,
and then he gives him the old stranger, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. A story about a clown molesting you, or an imaginary clown molesting you your whole life is terrifying. That would be scary. Like, that'd be so scary.
No, not his whole life. No. Bogo waited to get consent. No, there's no molestation here. No. Bogo wouldn't do that. Bogo's the good guy in this. He's the one just following Dennis around and trying to cheer him up, and he's like, my fucking clown and rose bush, dude. Yeah, Bogo's just like, dude, that's... I fucking love this story, honestly.
I do too.
Then suddenly, the old door of the frat house swung open with the screech of rusty hinges. Dennis felt Bogo's hands wrapped around his shoulders in excitement, and both looked on eagerly as the bare legs of Harold Buchanan stepped out onto the porch. Clad in navy blue shorts and a striped blue headband, he stretched both his arms out across the yard, breathing deep and leaning down to touch his toes. Harold reared back up with a shiny smile, beaming towards a squirrel he spotted, sitting on the branch of a tree in the yard. He breathed in again, gazing at the quiet windows of the university building. This bro's just on top of the world this day.
Dude, dude's having a
He's like, hello,
day.
Mr. Squirrel. Yeah.
Good morning to you, sir. Oh, look at the school. What a fine establishment of learning.
Yeah. He's like, oh, the halls, the children, the young boys and girls will be frolicking about, exchanging ideas like.
What a wonderful time to be alive. I haven't seen Clown Boy in forever, which might mean that I can have some intercourse with another female. It is about time.
That's what happened. Dude, Dennis was gone last night, and then everybody in the frat, finally got to, chill out.
They all got laid.
He was like, don't go running tomorrow, Harold, and, stomped out the door. Come on, Bogo. Dude, what if he walked out the door though, and he was gone down the hallway, and then a second later the door slammed shut. There is a poltergeist clown here, and everyone sees that plain as day, and they're like, all right, break out the weed. The weird kid's gone.
No.
They just don't care that there's a poltergeist clown. Everyone's just trolled this kid so hard his whole life. They're like, yeah, we know he's being followed by a demon clown. We just fucking we just like to give Dennis shit. He's so annoying about it, dude. Dennis watched the shape of Harold come clearer as the light grew with the sunrise. He looked at Harold's broad shoulders and his chiseled jaw. I'm starting to get a totally different vibe off this. And Dennis scowled with hatred. Dennis wrenched the rifle from Bogo's arms without so much as This is a poltergeist clown, dude.
Yeah.
The rifle's hovering next to him, and he's like, give me that fucking
You
rifle,
say that,
ghost.
but I still like the imagination of him pretend fighting for a gun that's not there.
That's not there. Yeah, I do like that even more, actually. Okay, without so much as a glance. Okay, so he just reaches over and just grabs it from him. Okay, Then he readied the butt of the gun against his shoulder. Bogo clapped happily and jumped up from his seat, silently hopping up and down in a dance behind Dennis's back. The sight stood tall an inch or two away from Dennis's retina, and his pupil drew large as he focused in on the broad forehead of Harold Buchanan. The cool cobalt steel of the trigger greeted the palm of his forefinger. Harold pulled up his knee-high socks and tightened the knots on both of his cream-white Converse. Dennis stared at that little face from so many yards away, watching as Harold's shoulders dipped and his knees bent inward, ready to start his jog. The century-old bricks.
Right now, dude.
He is so fucked. Oh yeah, no, and dude, Harold is just like loving his life, man.
Yeah, dude, Harold's like, this is a great day.
It's so. Oh my god, dude. The dramatic irony also that he's like in the rifle sights and he's taking this like extra long time to like do all the stretches. He's like, I'm still a little stiff. He's like, let me take some extra time. Like, it's like, move, bro. It just keeps cutting back and forth for like 5 minutes in my mind now.
Yeah,
The century.
it's 100% gone to like Naked Gun for Harold over here.
Yeah.
They're taking shots and he's just like stretching. All right, well, those
Gone through like a whole like magazine.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dennis didn't breathe for almost. Oh wait. The century-old bricks that stood in unison on every wall of the campus building carried the enormous echo of that shot, and blasted it against every pine tree and blade of grass for maybe a mile. Dennis didn't breathe for almost too long. He felt those puffy gloves wrap around his shoulders, and Bogo's face slid side by side with his own, teeth bared and eyes wide. They both stared down at the white lines of the street below as the crimson rim of a rushing pool slid over the paint and shone red against the morning light. The front of Harold's body kissed the green grass. A warm steam drifted up from the matter of his brain that splattered and caked on the sidewalk beside him. Too poetic. All that was, or ever was... I say that in the next sentence. All that was or ever would be of Harold Buchanan lay sprawled on that lawn in a contorted pose, limbs splayed out like an artisanal marble statue. Fucking nothing but net.
Dude,
that whole paragraph was a half-court shot from this author. Blind, just sunk it.
Dude, it's so funny that it's like so poetic after we had all this shit with Bogo.
That was so good.
It was so stuffy. It was so stuffy, and then it was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me pull out my my beautiful poetry for a moment. Enough with the stuffy. We took a little bit of hit a little bit of that dab pen, and we're letting it flow.
Pretty much. That tastes a little bitter, right? Here, now I'll take the whole bite at once, though. And it's like, okay, that was good. Dennis stared down at the empty thing he'd stuck to the ground and saw the barrel of the gun shake in his grip. He felt his own pulse skip a beat. His organs seemed to halt all activity. He felt the alien sensation of a bead of sweat drift down the curvature of his temple and over his cheek. What was that? A pit? A big peach pit growing in his chest? What a horrible, disgusting rot. But despite his discomfort, the feeling grew until it was a series of vines reaching through the bones of his arms and legs. It wasn't supposed to feel like this, and Dennis felt his stomach churn. He collapsed to his knees, spewing his breakfast onto the concrete roof of the radio tower. Classic mistake, bro.
So much DNA.
He stared down. Oh, it's 1967. Never mind. They're just gonna be like, he had fish for breakfast. He stared down at the mess and heaved in helpings of air, trying to keep the second course of fish from following the first up his throat. He heard something then. He jumped as a deafening scream shot from the street, and he turned his twitching head to see a woman frantically jogging to the course across the road. It's Harold's jogging buddy. She was like already like getting started, and she hasn't like broken her cardio yet. She's like, runs over. Dude, okay. The door to the sorority house across the way stood open. The heads of two other ladies poked out of the dark inside. The woman frantically shook the body, begging Harold to wake up. He, of course, did not.
That line, dude. I don't know why that line got me, bro. She shook him, but he's dead. Like, I got him. Like, outski wowski. We got another. We got a mark on the rifle.
I don't think it clarified where he hit him at, but I was picturing brains.
Oh, was
it said his brains were steaming in the grass.
Oh yeah. No, he got hit in the head. He got hit in the head.
The matter of his brain that splattered, and dude, his brains are all over the place, and she's like, Get up, Harold, run!
Have you seen the watch, dude? Where he's trying to put the harp. So they in the watch there's this character named Chucho that gets his heart ripped out, and this Will Forte's trying to put the heart back in his chest. He's like, Chucho, don't you die! Just...
Like, it doesn't work that way. And he's like, shut the fuck up if you're not gonna help me!
Call the police! Sarah!
And the head of who Dennis assumed was Sarah dipped back into the living room of the home as she ran for the phone. He turned back to see the woman weeping into her bathrobe, whispering how
Okay.
everything was gonna be to Harold's deafened ear. It's all that's left of his fucking head is just neck and an ear. She's like, you're gonna be just fine! Dennis watched her kind face shedding every last drop of comfort. Dennis watched her kind face shedding every last drop of comfort she could into the empty thing, and Dennis's brow fell as he considered the painting of it all. It wasn't hate bubbling up in there, no, he just wondered why it was never him. And as the shrimp sat in his mess and measured his breaths, he was reminded that it could be. After all, he had Bogo. As a series of angry tears
at the end of the story, I swear.
Dude, he's already, yeah, like, okay, wait a second. So he just shot this guy, and then a sorority girl runs over to help him, and he's like, yeah, Harold would get the fucking hot chick to come help him after I blew his brains.
That's exactly what he did. That's 100% what he did. He was like,
Dennis
why couldn't this been me, dude? Why couldn't this been me, bro? I drew them naked with circle vagina scribbles, and they didn't even love me a little bit. I gave them Bogo's mask.
He's like, I just killed a guy and it didn't feel as good as I wanted it to, and I threw up and my tummy hurts. But no, everyone fucking worry about Harold.
Can't you see Harold's dead as fuck?
King Harold, king in the castle. As a series of angry tears streamed down his cheeks, Dennis felt the air suddenly thicken. Something dark moved in his periphery, and Dennis turned his head to his trusted friend. Bogo's eyes were wide, almost bulging. His pupils sank into the white until they were little black pins on a pale ocean. His teeth were bright, and his lips curled to reveal each of them as they stood as slats in a great big grimace. It wasn't a smile. It wasn't anything Dennis could recognize. He watched the clown's shoulder bob up and down as his breaths frantically repeated. Dennis never left his friend's face or distracted me. Not even when those silk gloves shoved the rifle into his lap, and he felt a bruise start up where it hit. The clown slowly brought his pointer finger up and laid it out over the edge of the roof. Dennis followed it, and saw he was pointing at the woman below. Dennis looked at the woman, her frizzled hair waving back in the wind as she clutched her robe to her sides and wept over the corpse. Wept. Then he looked back at the clown. Its face was rabid and excited, and its pointer finger swung back between them as Bogo lightly tapped on the tip of Dennis's nose. He felt those tendrils of dread wrap around his stomach and squeeze as he realized what Bogo wanted. Dennis shook his head, the sweat beginning to chill against his face.
Buddy, no, I can't.
But the clown insisted. He bobbed his head up and down, slowly, never blinking. His arms wrapped around Dennis's shoulders, and Dennis's neck cracked as the clear of the rifle. Dennis turned his head and stared at the clown, feeling tears start up again. He watched Bogo's chest heave in and out, but now with his face pressed against Dennis's, he realized that no breath came in from the clown's mouth. Bogo pointed at the lady again, and then pulled Dennis's eyelids open with his slender, gloved fingers. They were puffy a second ago. Now they're slender? Plot hole. Dennis felt the muscle around his eyeball start to rip, and something warm started to drip down the bridge of his nose. Something that wasn't tears.
It was semen.
It's coming, yeah.
Bogo, please, buddy.
Bogo didn't move. Cold wind slapped their faces as Dennis tried to release himself from the clown's grip.
Bogo, I don't want to. Let me go.
Dennis flailed his skinny arms. Damn, narrator, you didn't have to do it. And pushed away from his friend, stumbling a few steps away, and faced the clown. The rifle hung limply from his hand, the butt scraping against the concrete. Bogo's shoulders shook, and he brought his fist to the sides of his head and pounded over and over, staring into Dennis's eyes. Dennis's words sputtered cowardly from his lips.
Buddy, please don't do that!
The clown stepped towards Dennis, teeth bared and fists clenched. With one quick movement, he balled Dennis's shirt collar in his hand and pulled the boy up into the air. He's just like levitating now on the fucking roof.
Bogo, stop it, please, Bogo!
Hoisting him so that his leather shoes dangled above the ground. Dennis stared back into his friend's eyes with a kind of fear that he had never felt before, never having seen anything so explosive from the clown in all those card games and play dates. And
remember when we played Slapjack, Bogo? Please be nice to me, Bogo.
he's talking about like last week, and again, we want to remind you that this guy's like a junior in college. We have our play date later, Bogo. And the weight between them hung there in the morning light, the weeping woman below and the distant call of sirens being the only sound between the two. Then, as Dennis's pathetic yelps of sorrow wetly moaned from his pouting lips, he saw the clown's red lipstick spread ear to ear in a smile. Dennis reached up and wiped hot tears and snot and blood from his cheeks, and he felt a smile grow on his face too, as he finally felt his friend come back to him. Kimberly Van Houten stood above the mangled body of Carol Buchanan. The cold air brushed against her plush bathrobe, but she didn't shiver. She was freezing, but refused to give in to the urge to run back inside the sorority house and sit by the fireplace. Again, dramatic irony where someone's just refusing to move out from the sniper. Like, this guy just got... Anyway, the boy she stood above was dead, sure, but he wouldn't be alone. No, she wouldn't let this poor thing all alone before help came. She couldn't offer much, but she could give him that. Red and white lights spin from somewhere up the street, and Kimberly saw the ambulance finally run its tires toward her from the mouth of University Avenue. Finally, help was there. She raised an arm, waving the vehicle over. As the brakes squeezed on the ambulance and it squealed to a stop, she bent down to the boy at her feet.
I'm here, okay?
And she brushed the hair from those cold, hollow eyes in the boy's head and wiped another tear from her chin with her other hand. As the paramedics stepped out of the vehicle, all three people heard an earth-shattering splat on the road behind Kimberly. All of them turned, startled, and groaned. All of them turned, startled and groaning at the sight that met their eyes. The shattered body of Dennis Wesley twisted in a heap on the black asphalt. Wide streaks of gunk and blood spread from his orifices, and a pile of brain spewed from the crater that now made up the back of his skull. Dennis's glasses still stuck to the bridge of his nose, his eyes wide and bloodshot. His limbs were cracked and wrenched into ungodly positions, each bent like a scrunched radio antenna. The paramedics walked forward first, while Kimberly brought her hands to her mouth and screamed again. As the medical personnel stared at the mess in front of them, something caught one of their eyes. He turned his head to watch something spin in the breeze and roll onto the lawn of the fraternity house across the street, and he crooked his brow. Two bodies lay before them, and yet he couldn't take his eye off of a large white party hat that rolled to a stop at the base of a large oak tree. The medic shook his head, spitting onto the ground.
What a way to start the week, huh?
This was such a good story.
It was
so good.
It was so fun, dude. It was so fun. I like the idea that the party clowns like might be real. That idea, it had that good horror movie ending where you're like, could still be wait till the sequel. I like the way it worked out because it never felt. I was worried about reading this one because it's a tough subject. It's a tough subject to do like these like the mass shooting type stuff, and I was worried it was going to go into that. I thought it was going to be very, very manifesto-y, and it's not. It's just petty rich kid throwing a little tantrum, and then his birthday clown kills him.
Yeah. He's killed by the birthday clown that he never actually had. Yeah. But always had.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it was just, it's a fun, goofy ordeal that I loved. I really liked this story. I think it was really, really fun at the end of the day. And I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Like, don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was going to hate it or anything. It was fun.
The writing in it was fantastic too. Like some of the paragraphs and some of the sentences and stuff like that were just so well done. Very, very good story. Soft Leadership 8496. Thank you very, very much.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I do not feel bad that Dennis died though. Good.
No, Dennis.
What a loser.
That was effective writing
death.
too.
Yeah, it was a great way to kill the enemy without killing the actual like monster. You know. let's kill the guy that sucks, and let's keep this other guy in my back pocket in case I want to use him for a Bogo for another story later.
I am sad that there was not a sex scene
Me too.
between Bogo and Dennis.
Yeah, dude.
I wanted to know all about that.
We wanted to know, well, like, when he pumped, did he honk the horn?
Yes.
Like, that's what we...
No, didn't.
You know what I mean? Like, that was what we needed. We 100% needed that. Now, we do have 2 more stories to get to on this episode. We're doing 4 today. This is a crazy mashup. But we decided to pull, like, a bunch of stories that were kind of shorter because we have some really long ones to get to on this sub. And we decided to pull 2 from Deathlord Gargothicon. He's been on the channel a bunch. We love him. DG Wheatthick, my boy. We got I Killed My Best Friend, Now He's Killing Me, a short story. As well as My Baby's Nightlight Keeps Turning On. So, I actually get to start this one with the thing. Where is my child?
I scream, pounding hard on the front door of the locked office building in the middle of the night. Zayden's face is staring at me through the window, but he isn't saying anything.
Where is she?
My hand hurts from the amount of force I'm protruding on the innocent door, which then suddenly opens, body tumbling into the artificial soaked light of the building. Cubicles lined the entire room, but no one was there. Standing back up, my eyes scanned the room, confused, as to how I lost my ex-friend. A hand gripped my shoulder as I whipped around to see Zayden. Behind him is a printer occupying one of the cubicles. Pushing past him, I raced to the machine, ripped the cord out of the wall, held the printer up with both hands, and threw it at Zayden's head. In that instant, he tumbled downward head first into the ground. I grabbed the cord that is still connected to the printer, whip it around in a circular motion over my head, and slam it into his skull. Flat.
So, when I was a kid, I got in like trouble because I was playing with the neighbor kids. Like we were the Power Rangers, and we were using the hose, and I accidentally bashed the kid's face with the metal part of the hose and cut his head, and felt. I didn't really feel that bad because you're kids, you know. You're like, why did you get in the way of the hose? And then you get in trouble, and your parents get rid of all your cool movies, and you're like, well, this sucks. Now I feel bad that I hit him in the head.
No. My first thought anytime something like that happened was, I am so fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that was my first thought. I was like, I am so in trouble for this dude.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And
my whole life's about to change.
And I just pictured that when I was a kid, just thinking I was so cool whipping the hose around. And I was like, dude, keep in mind, I was watching the Power Rangers. That shows you how young I was. Nobody watches the Power Rangers past like 6, 7?
25.
25. And I do remember, like, that was like the end of Power Rangers for me. I hated Power Rangers because of that. After that,
because of that. No,
like,
you corrupted me.
I was like, fuck you, Power Rangers, for a long time. Now I look back and have fond memories of the Power Rangers. I'm like, yeah, well, look at that, dude. They were
like that time you cracked a kid's face open.
Yeah, like the time I cracked. That's like, it was a building foundation to me becoming a cannibal. But
Poor memory.
I just you know this guy thought he was a Power Ranger while he was whipping that cord over this dead
That's what he was doing. He was channeling the Power Rangers energy. Black ooze gushes from the shattered corpse's face as some of the splash damage burns my skin. Wiping it off my arm, I head for the front door as the sludge grows in the surface area of the office. My legs are burning as the ooze is climbing up. Opening the front door, I hear a muffled intercom coming from behind me, as I see a burning shack to my left, where a dirty kid held a box of matches in the doorway of that ember-infused building. There is black smoke coming from the kid's head, shaking violently. All of me is searing in heat. I hear screams echoing from the forest behind the building as it burns down. One scream, then 10s, then 100, each with different tones, cadences, and ages. Then I woke up.
I don't know what to think.
This was really cool.
It was cool.
I liked it.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna put this in the same category as that those other 2 stories that we read that were really short, where it's a great scene,
snippets,
but
yeah.
I don't feel like why are we looking for your child? Like, okay, here's the thing. All right, so this is actually, we're gonna talk about a dream that I actually had. That was, this isn't weird. This isn't weird. I'm not gonna get comical with this one. This one actually messed me up for a few days. So I had a nightmare one night that my daughter tripped over a thing of clothes. I was doing laundry and she tripped over and her head hit the concrete floor. I don't have a concrete floor in my house. I don't know why there was concrete, but she tripped over, hits her head on the concrete, and a gash forms and it starts spreading open and caving in deeper and deeper and deeper. And as I'm holding her and she's bleeding and dying in my arms, and I can't get anybody to help me. No matter how hard I scream, I'm running, people are there, they're not looking at me, I'm just like trying to get as much attention as I can and then like I wake up and my daughter's laying next to me in her crib. She's fine. I'm like happy. I'm like cool. That was awful, super scarring. And that's kind of how dreams work, you know? They're a quick snippet. They're disturbing, they're messed up, and I was gonna critique where the thing is, it's like, where's my child? But then I remembered that it was like, that's how dreams are. You just are thrown in the middle of something. Like,
I think that, oh yeah, no, you're right. I do. There's definitely a dream-like quality to this, because I mean, it ends with, and then I woke up. So I'm imagining this whole thing is probably a nightmare. But if you took away that last sentence and you set this as like an actual scene, I think that there's a really deep story here that you could like. If we like close read this, we could probably extrapolate an entire story from it. It seems like there was enough there, like enough imagery and stuff like that, with enough little like quick things going on that it was like if you like fast forwarded through a movie really fast or something like that, or hit skip scene, dude, on an old DVD.
So what I'm getting from it, if we're gonna like break it down for the viewers, let's do like a full breakdown. So we look at like the beginning where he's like screaming, "Where's my child?" on this office building. Gets into the office building. Here's the thing. Their friend that was staring at them through the building is not their friend anymore. It's some sort of creature zombie with acid blood now. Like black
who died.
Blood. It's like a creature. It's like some sort of like creature embodying him. Like the Thing would be a good example. It's like the Thing mixed with Alien. So when he smashes his head, the ooze starts to pour out. And then there's just a child who burns the building down with him in it, inside of it.
All right, here's what happened. The narrator killed Zayden when they were kids in a fire that they started.
There you go. I like that.
The black ooze that's coming out of their head and orifices and all this type of shit, that is the fireman, that's like the fire hose water from the fucking... You know, from rinsing down the gutters and shit. Yeah, like all the detritus and
the runoff. Yeah.
That's all that. That's what that is. Yes. That's what's inside of the corpse. And he's being haunted by the corpse of the friend. 5 years later, he's having a normal day at the office when all of a sudden he realizes his kid's gone, and then Zayden's in the office building and he has to kill the zombie, but it's too late for him to get out. Because they've already trapped him inside and they're burning him. I thought I thought at first that Zayden stuck the baby in the printer, and I was going to fucking lose my mind laughing.
Yeah, that would be another. That is a very Reddit thing to do. We're like, then we killed another child. We've already had a killed a child story. Yeah, right. But like that, like Reddit loves killing children. But
we mean that in a lot of senses, by the way. We mean that in a lot of different ways.
But I think, you know, I actually do like this more than just a scene. Now that we're like looking, because I think that it does have a beginning, middle, and end. It's just kind of layered in a really weird way that you don't see it at first, and I think that works because of the dreamscape. But that was fun. I'm excited to get to this other one, because this one is my baby's nightlight keeps turning on, and with I feel like that's a good transition. This one does have a little weird part at the end that I don't know. So we'll get to.
How do you want to do this? Yeah.
I think we should just say how many seconds.
Okay.
Or do you want to count each second? Well, we can count each second, but I don't feel like that would be good listening.
No, let's not count each second. No, it's not good second. That's not. Sorry, DLG. We're just gonna go like 1 through 60 when we get to this part.
When we get to that part, I'll take over. I got this.
We picked the nightlight story so that this is what we're all sending you guys to bed on. So good night, everybody, beforehand, and for your heads.
And this is a good place to tell you, like and subscribe and rate us on Spotify, because and post on our thing. We'll read your story. We don't care. Well, we're here to have fun.
We've read some crazy shit tonight, so
it's been a weird match.
Clown poltergeists, school shootings, baby snuff, printer babies. Dude, there's a theme. There's a little bit of a theme. Have you ever had that paranoid feeling that someone has been watching when they aren't there? I have no proof to back up this manic episode I had in the middle of the night, but something just isn't adding up. I have a friend who works in cybersecurity, And he would always mention how baby monitors can get hacked if you use the ones that connect to the Wi-Fi. Now, I've known this guy my whole life since he's been my best friend, so I'm not inclined to ever call him a liar. While he did recommend a few, we eventually put one on our baby shower wish list. This baby monitor can connect to the Wi-Fi, but we have never done that due to the safety concerns my friend had mentioned, even though it would be easier to connect the app on my phone to view what the monitor sees, instead of always waiting for the monitor screen to turn on, which took, I kid you not, a full minute to power on. It even had excessive features like changing the color of the nightlight and playing calming sounds, which we rarely used since they never helped put her to sleep. We have the camera plugged into the wall, but we always have to remember to turn the light switch on, otherwise the camera won't work, since that is how that outlet is set up, and we can't be bothered to move the camera out to a different spot on the wall. These parents are awesome. One after, he's like, do not plug this in or people will hack your shit. And he's like, it'd be so much easier though if I could just let people hack my shit. Like, that's exactly where they get you, dude. He is the problem. That's awesome. I don't think they did it. Like, they never, they didn't plug it in or whatever. But like, he knows. He's like, yeah.
No, they plugged it in. This thing's 100% plugged in.
Okay. Oh, plugged in but not connected?
They didn't connect to the Wi-Fi. You can,
we've never connected it. Okay,
I don't know if our little camera thing connects to the Wi-Fi, but we have one. Like, we were, I think Dolly's brother got it for us. Or
it does. It does.
And ours, well, it does. I'm gonna kill you, Ben. I'm gonna hunt you down and murder you. It's gonna be really, really fun to drag your body through all of
I'm in your bathroom right now.
Huh, dude. It probably smells awful.
I'm hanging out with the cat box.
Violent diarrhea. Violent diarrhea.
It does. I have to wait for you to leave. Come out. One afternoon, I passed by our baby's bedroom, and the camera's nightlight was on, glowing white. We never turned this on because we never needed to, so why is it on? I didn't turn it on. Annoyed and confused, I grabbed the monitor, turned it on, waited a full minute for it to load, of course, and sure enough, the nightlight icon was actively on. I go into the settings of the monitor to turn it off. The nightlight turns back on 3 seconds later. I turn it off again. It turns on again. No, this is a glitch. It has to be. It doesn't make sense otherwise. Off.
On.
Off.
On.
No matter how many times I turn it off, it is persistent and fighting my command. So obey me, nightlight! So I turned off the light switch.
Do we all have that moment in technology though, where we're like, do what I want you to do, goddammit!
I will never, this is like a quote from like a John Oliver, like Last Week Tonight or something, but he's like making fun of like Lindsey Graham, who was doing something about like cell phones or something like that, and he's like, like the quote is, he's like, this stupid cell phone or something like that, and John Oliver's like, he's like, I can't imagine that Lindsey Graham like knows how to use a cell phone. He's like, he probably like, it probably like fucks him up all the time. He's like, stupid phone, I am your boss. And, like, I do that to like every piece of technology now that gives me trouble. I'm your boss. So I turned off the light switch, powering down the camera since we didn't need it at that moment. Finally, it turned off. This guy's hanging out with the nightlight more than he's hanging out with the baby.
Oh, 100%.
But I still had this creeping possibility. This is obsessed. He's like just obsessed with it at this point. I still had this creeping possibility lingering in the back of my head. Why? I scoured the internet to see if anyone else had this problem with this particular model, but to no avail. Surely this has happened before. That night, as I was laying in bed, I turned to my left to face the monitor, and something caught my eye. I'm surprised he was ever facing away from it.
Yeah.
It looked like dust particles flying across the corner of the screen. I've seen these before. It was probably a bug or dust or something like that. Just a bunch of bugs in our kid's room. It's cool. I turn off the monitor screen as I lay my head on the pillow to sleep. Honestly, I was just happy our kid was finally asleep since we've had some troubles putting her to sleep. We'd be up all night, taking shifts every hour in an attempt to drift her to snores at bedtime. So to see her, peaceful and still on the monitor, a little too still, meant that we finally got to sleep before we had to go to work in a few hours. Good thing coffee exists. Am I right, parents? Yeah, I know, that's relatable. After a few minutes, I then got up to use the bathroom, and once I walked out of the bedroom, I immediately froze as I looked at our child's bedroom door that was slightly ajar, spilling a crimson hue through the crack. The nightlight was on in the middle of the night, and it was glowing red. He's about to just rage the fuck out. He's about to just break everything in the house. fighting every possible urge not to scream in the middle of the pitch black night, illuminated by one sole angry ray. I slowly creaked the door to enter, only to hear the door do the screaming for me, as it sounded like it was dying for its last breath, as it scraped at his nails. This is me, like, when I'm trying, like, if my wife's laying down, dude, our bedroom door is notorious for that. It's just like, it just sounds like a person being knifed, dude, when you try to open it.
And that's exactly, well, what's funny is I'll, like, come in the front door, and I'll get a look from my wife that the baby's napping, like, on her lap or something, and the give me a second.
You're good. This is the intermission. And since it's just with me, it's the bentermission.
Sorry, the baby got really sad.
All good, all good.
But no, when I come in at home and I see, like, the baby sleeping on Dahlia, and that my screen door is the most obnoxiously loud thing in the world, and I'll be, like, holding it so it won't be shaking and screeching, and I'll, like, slowly close it and then pull the latch closed, you know, instead of, like, pushing the little button and letting it do its own thing. I'm like,
yeah.
And I just look at my daughter. I'm like, okay, Savannah's still asleep. We're good. And then I'll go to close the regular doors. Oh my god, dude. I don't want to wake her up and hear her cry.
My tip for this, I don't know if you're leaving all this in or not, but try, if you, not the screen door probably won't do this, maybe if you, like, lift up on the handle, like, try to, like, lift it up in its setting, but try, like, pushing down on your door handle or lifting up on your door handle while you're closing it to try to, like, get the hinges apart. That's what works for our bedroom door. I used to pick it up and it would work 50-50, but then Savannah was like, oh no, you're pushed down on it. And I was like, wait, you know about this? And she was like, yeah. She's like, you just push down on the handle. And I was like, no fucking way.
That's
and it
crazy.
works.
I didn't know
we
that.
could just get WD-40, but we rent, so fuck it.
Yeah. No, mine doesn't screech that bad. It just, like, seems to only do it when I don't want to. And it's not even loud. It's like I'm over listening for it. And I'm already thinking about the screen door. The screen door is just, like, clangy. It's not even screechy, it's just clangy. By the way, if you guys are confused, I don't know if we've talked about this well yet. I said Savannah, he said Savannah. His wife's name's Savannah, my daughter's name's Savannah. No correlation. We did not know each other, like, in any sort of way when, like, until, like, way after my daughter was born. But weird overlap there. That's a wild overlap.
Yeah. I remember when we were like first, like, setting up the show and stuff like that, I mentioned, I was like, I gotta go talk to Savannah real quick, and you're like, wait, what? And you're like you're like, my baby's name is Savannah. Shit. It's a good name. Strong name.
Great name.
Once the door, so we got our narrator trying to break into his daughter's room.
Yeah.
Once the door was open, just enough for me to squeeze through into the room, I got on my hands and knees as I crawled to the outlet. As I reached for the cord to unplug the camera in a desperately quiet attempt to fix the camera, I heard a rustling from the crib that nearly made me jump out of my skin. I looked into the crib to see her just changing positions in her sleep. Okay, which was typical. I thought she was going to be, like, breakdancing or some shit. Once I could tell she was sound asleep again, I unplugged the cord from the wall, waited a few seconds, then plugged it back in. The nightlight was off, and it stayed off. After a silent sigh of relief, I crawled out of the room, stood up, and went to the bathroom. Once I finished, I entered my bedroom. Oh, your cat's behind you, dude. It looked like it was sneaking up on you, trying to kill you. It's like, Jeff, look out! Once I finished, I entered my bedroom, shut my door, and walked over to my bed. As I laid down once again, legs in blanket, head on pillow, blanket over chest, I turned to my left again, and remembered I had turned off the screen. I then realized I forgot to check that nightlight icon on the screen earlier. Was it there? I was so tired I honestly don't remember. If the light was on, then the icon was on, so it must have been. I pressed the button one last time. I waited for a minute as I counted the passing seconds.
It's 1 through 60. Now, I love Deathlord's stuff, and I get what it's doing here because he set up the minute over and over again. And he could have put just a sentence in that was like, I waited each of those sexy seconds.
60.
I waited each of those excruciating 60 seconds or something like that. Like, added something flowery in there, and because, like, when you get to this, it's cool in a way reading it, like you see it and you're like thumping it down in your head, but like reading it out loud, it's kind of doesn't work.
And let me just read the last 4 actually, and then we'll talk about these numbers. The screen turned on, the nightlight was off, the icon was off, but she was gone.
Yeah.
I get why he did the seconds now. I get it. Those were the last 60 seconds before
his daughter
his life was over.
His life
before
was over. And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's just like
Dude, do you think he knew? And like that's the other 60 seconds because he kept talking about that minute that it takes to boot up over and over again. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that he kind of felt it, like, whenever he was, like, the inevitability of, like, I have to turn on this? No, maybe not. Maybe he was just panicking for that 60 seconds and waiting.
This is one that I'd read before, and this was one of the ones that, like, I saw was short. I was, like, getting ready for bed. I read through it, and this is, like, literally every parent's thought when your kid's in the other room. Like, it's just, like, you're always worried at any moment she could just disappear, or something could happen, or she could swallow something, she could choke on something, or, you know what I mean? And so, the idea of, like, the way I picture this is somebody's been living in the house, and they keep turning the thing on, or they like, have set a setting on there where it keeps turning on, and they know that he'll turn it off, kind of like the story about the guy living in the walls.
Yeah, dude, that's like fucking 25 times as scary now that you mentioned that.
So
I just thought it was some paranormal shit. You brought it way too down to earth.
So I just have this picture of somebody living in the wall in their closet or something, and they're coming out and turning it and waiting. And then when he goes to the bathroom, they know that they counted the 60 seconds that it takes. They hit it, and then they steal his child, because he's in the other room. That's how I picture it. That is
a way scarier interpretation than I thought. Yeah. I just thought that it was just some paranoid, like some paranormal stuff going on or something like that. But yeah, that was way freaky. I like that. All right, well that was a great one.
Yeah, no, these one shots are really fun. I like these short stories. I mean, I don't know. The short story gets to the point really quick, and it'll either leave you with a lot to think on, or like you're just like, okay, that was cool, I'm moving on.
Okay.
And I think both of these last two did a good job of letting you think more about it, and the more you thought about it, the better they got, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like at first glance, they're like, it's okay. But when you start to think about all like what could have happened, and it leaves you with enough questions to figure out what happened, but it still has a beginning, middle, and end, which a story needs. It's not just a vignette of a scene.
We went the opposite direction through these stories tonight, didn't we? We started off with like spooky nightlight baby thing, and then like burning house, like dead zombie theme, whatever. And like then we're like school shooting clown, and then we end up with like kids. Like we started off with the coup de grace, and then we like tapered.
Super violent, which just works out for the end of the episode. It kind of tapers off to the end, I guess. It tapers off to the end. So, I mean, it works out.
Leave off on a way more positive note.
I mean, how is child kidnapping positive? How do you know
it's just the one?
How do you know that this kid?
It's just the one baby.
But how do you know this baby wasn't kidnapped and then raised in a dungeon somewhere to be used on Channel 557?
Okay, so this is the prologue to Channel 557 now. The stolen baby is the broadcast phantom or whatever the fuck that name was. Anyway. But no, you're right. These are I can see how these are linked.
Yeah.
And this made it a whole web series then. There you go. See, now it's comfy for you.
Yeah, now it's it'll slowly turn into an ARG.
I like the little Bukowski short stories we get that are just like one sentence and then like they hit space 10 times and then like one sentence. I love that. Keep doing that. I like just spamming the arrow button while I'm fucking reading these.
Yeah, dude, I'm a mouse wheel guy, dude. I be scrolling back and forth.
Can't be. Nope, not with this fucking piece of garbage, dude. Every time I scroll, like this goes up as I'm scrolling down. It's not even inverted.
I got like pretty RGB lighting mouse that makes me really good at video games. Not really. I still suck at video games, but it's pretty when I do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty when I.
You're like, God damn it! Ooh, I'm a true gamer because I have the RGB.
Dude, my keyboard has the RGB, and that's the only button that my daughter knows what actually does anything on the keyboard. She'll hit that button on and off, and then she'll go back to just slapping the keyboard.
Yeah. She's like, well, this one I know does something. This one when I start slapping it, Dad just freaks out. So this is the dad freak out buttons. No!
She's not the slur button, not the slur button. I have just quit. I have like a random letter that just has all the slurs. It just puts all of them. I've had a quick shortcut to just be paragraphs and paragraphs of every slur.
Number lock on.
Yeah.
You just click every number on the side thing is just a different. You have them like hotkeyed.
Yeah, and I always have I always put Facebook on so that only my family and like people from high school see it. so I get phone calls for hours and hours and hours asking me why I posted that.
Well, we learned tonight that you have basically a slur weapon wheel.
Yeah,
That's pretty
no,
fucking dope. I like that.
You know, when you learn from the greats.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, you gotta have a slur weapon wheel. Keep it in your back pocket, right next to where. That way you can clink and get your butt plug every once in a while, and you can be a true man of class and excellence.
Once Jump Medic sponsors us, dude, I'm going hard.
Anyways, that was the episode, guys. I hope you guys had fun. This one was cool. We got through 4 stories. We're like I said, we're gonna keep going through the Reddit. We got some multi-part coming up. We have some people that haven't been on the channel yet. I think we'll do. Well, we have some people that have been on the channel but haven't been, or they're new to the Reddit. So we'll have them, like Nikki XX. They did the House on Blair or Briarwood Drive.
Briarwood.
Yeah, Briarwood Drive.
The mega episode.
Yeah, the mega episode. That was a monster to edit through.
Yeah.
But that'll be cool, and then Gloomy's got a bunch of multi-parters to get through. I think we're caught up, and we'll go back to the Reddit stories that we've collected from other authors. But I'm happy going through the Reddit. It's just so much fun. So keep posting, guys. We'll keep reading them. 100%. 100%.
Yep. I feel like once we're back on like the multi-part series where we release like the 2.5, 3 hour long episodes for like the 8 or 6, you know what I mean, like the big multi-parts. That's like where we like really are featuring an author and like a single story and talking about the stuff for what for us is days, because it would take a few times to sit and record it and stuff like that. Oh my god, cut that. They're not supposed to know. We're supposed to just sporadically change shirts and audio qualities and camera set. Anyway, but these ones where it's just like we just have like a grab bag of stories that we just like shake a few together and like we're like, yeah, it feels like about an hour, 90 minutes, and put them together. It's like open mic night. Like where we get like feature these like quick little samples from these guys. So
we get a bunch of different writing styles. We get a bunch of different fun. There's always something to be pulled from a story that's like decent, you know. Like even like the most dog shit stories I've ever written, there's still like some redeeming quality. I mean, unless you're the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, then that movie fucking sucks. It's garbage. And
I bite my so hard every time you bring this up.
Dude,
it's not that bad.
It's so bad.
It's not even that bad.
It's so bad.
Okay, all right.
Have you seen
this? Is the exclusive content, by the way. We're not. This goes on the Patreon.
Have you seen the?
All right. Well, we're settling this now. I have seen a couple of the remakes. I've seen like remake. Texas Chainsaw.
Okay, yes. Well, no, there's the crappy Netflix one. Nobody talks about that one. That one, but that one's like way late. That's not even a remake.
We're factoring it in.
You're factoring. I don't know if it's a remake. I don't know what that movie was.
You're right. I don't know what the fuck that movie was, but
so there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They came out in like 03 or 04. There's The Beginning, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which is a prequel to that movie, because that prequels were really big in that time period.
That's where he's like the little pig-faced boy running around, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That
one was.
This before he gets the leather face. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the one that came out with the hot chick from
Jay-Z.
Huh?
The rapper was in it. Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't.
There was like a remake of Texas Chainsaw where it's like the group of kids going to Texas like in the truck and like it redoes the same story.
Yeah, it does.
There's 2003 with Jessica Biel. Yeah,
that's the one.
Then there's the one with. There's another one that they remade. Oh my god, I have to look this up.
So no, I'm looking at all the movies right now. I'll read them all to you. So we got we got the original classic, the direct sequel, the third installment, then the 2003 remake, then the prequel, then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D.
Oh shit.
Which is that one's not terrible. And it's not bad.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that Texas Chainsaw 3D is better than 1974's masterpiece?
That's not a masterpiece. That movie's dog shit. It is half the movie is screaming in your earbuds with bad acting.
I don't deny that.
It's a bad movie. It is it's criminally overhyped up considering the remake. Like I'm saying, the 2003 remake's good. I'm just telling you the timeline. So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D
sucked, bro.
It does suck. I'm not saying that's a great movie. It's
got
sequel.
Lupe fucking Fiasco Trey Songz. That's the
Yeah.
one that's in it. This is the
So,
rapper Trey Songz
3D
and Alexandria Daddario.
3D is a direct sequel to 200003. It's a
Bro,
terrible sequel to
no.
2003. It's not a
No.
remake. I'm saying it's
That
not
is
a remake.
So bad.
It's a sequel. That one is bad. I'm not defending that one.
Okay,
I'm
alright.
saying you wanted to know the timeline, like too. So we're talking about the timeline because it went. So the 2022 one's a sequel too. I don't know what it's a sequel to. That's the one. That
You're right, and it's not even like on this list.
So,
which is crazy. I'm on IMDb and they're like not even counting the Netflix Texas Chainsaw, the one that is just unwatchably bad.
Yeah. So the Leatherface is I think that one's a prequel to. So it's a prequel to the prequel, basically.
Okay.
So it's a prequel to. Yeah. So Leatherface is like a prequel to The Beginning or something. I don't know. That movie sucks. Leatherface is terrible. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D,
the one where he looks like a baby man.
The only redeeming quality from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D is watching what's her face run around topless. That is the only redeeming quality of that film. What's her name? You see,
Daddario.
Yeah,
Alexandria Daddario.
And she wasn't bad in the film, but the movie itself sucks. The only good.
I'm not saying.
The best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, though, in my opinion, I haven't seen all the sequels to the original because I hated the original, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. That is the best film.
Yeah, okay, alright, so we agree on that one. We do agree that that one's the best one. Because I do like that one.
That's hands down the best film.
I don't dislike the 1974 movie. The reason, have you seen Texas Chainsaw 2?
No.
Like in the 70s one? Okay. If you watch that one, which you don't have to, but if you watch that one, it 100% of the way redeems the first one. Like, they turned it into a comedy. It's literally a comedy movie with like slapstick and stuff like that. Like, yes.
Crazy.
They at least took it seriously, kinda, in the first movie, where it's still a little bit fun, but like, you're right. No, it is all screaming. I agree with you there.
And
I don't disagree with that point.
The movie is
it looks like a snuff film when you're watching it.
Well, no, it's not even looks like it. Like it looks that way, but there's not much violence in it. To be honest,
no,
you don't see any.
Where they're trying to hammer her head open and they can't do it.
And then like you're watching like them wear the skin of like the grandma, or that was supposed to be the grandpa or something, or they're wearing the skin of the grandpa. You don't know if it's bad costume design or supposed to be them wearing the skin.
In Texas Chainsaw 2, it kind of addresses that grandpa is real, and that he's actually like 150 years old or something like that. In Texas Chainsaw 2, you see grandma.
Oh my god,
grandma is even older, and she's gigantic, and she sits on a giant skull throne with a chainsaw in her arms, because of course she does. And then like the victim, like the final girl, uses grandma's chainsaw to like fight Leatherface and kill him. It's so bad. And Leatherface falls in love with the final girl. It's a romance. It's a Beauty and the Beast story.
So what is kind of funny about the first one is like people hype up the original, and keep in mind I didn't watch the original till this year, but people hype up the original like it's terrifying, like it's a terrifying film. I laughed through the first half.
You guys are leaving me behind to go to swimming hole.
Yeah, and then like the guy falling down the hill in the wheelchair. Jesus, that was hilarious. And
that was funny. I agree.
And then it finally gets to some scary stuff happening, and like you get to the house, and the house is like looks really scary, and there's like it's going to go somewhere, and then she unrealistically, and there are people who argue that the original, like her screaming added to more of the character, and it was like more psychological. No one realistically screams like that, ever.
No, not for like. No, like not for that long.
I was waiting for it to stop, so I didn't want to mute the movie or anything. But both me and my wife had to eventually mute her because we were getting a headache.
Yeah,
it's an impossibly hard movie to watch.
It is physically tiring to watch the movie. I will give you that also.
It's not even it's putting exhausting paranoia or anything in it. It's just, and that's why I'm like, it's not a good movie. I can watch my reservations about watching the 2003 one is because that movie's scary. That movie's fucking terrifying. Like,
yeah, I agree. That one is, dude, that's one of the best horror movies like maybe ever made.
Dude, it's so
Texas Chainsaw 3D. Texas Chainsaw in 2003. You gotta say it, you fuck. That was Texas Chainsaw 3D. I just thought it was called like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something.
No, it
and
was. 3D was
that
the
is
third
so
film.
funny to me that it's 3D.
3D was the third film in that series.
I need to go back and watch it.
It's
now.
It's so stupid.
Because
it's so stupid, but it's like it has some like the thing that was funny. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 3D when it came out with some friends and stuff, and we're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She's his cousin.
Yeah.
Like you're like,
what I like to do is in 3D movies, I like to count the number of times something flies at the screen.
Yeah.
Especially because I never watch it in 3D. I'm always watching it like way after the fact, and I'm like, that was a 3D moment. Like, I'm super obnoxious to watch movies with.
I think another reason why I didn't hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, is because we had so much fun making fun of it in the theater with my friends in high school. It was like
I can see that,
and so that's why that one was fun, because the other two were like way before. So it was 2003 and 2006. And then they didn't make another. Then they made Leatherface and 3D weren't until like way later. You know, they made those
like 2017 or something. Yeah,
it was like 2013, and then 2017, and so the 2013 one, I was still like in high school. It was like that cheesy. It was like Paranormal Activity almost, where you went to them just to make fun of it. And we went to 3D because it was just a stupid idea to have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. And
Paranormal Activity kind of fucked the whole game up. And Insidious. Those movies fuck the whole movie going game up.
Yeah.
Because those are the movies that you go to just to make fun of. But they're like, people really like these. They keep coming to them. And it's like, that's not what
No, that's not it. It's like Saw, too. Saw, you got in like the Final Destinations. You go to Saw and Final Destination just to watch the kills. Yeah, no one's there for the movie. No one's there for the movie for the crazy stuff.
We actually do need to do like when we do like some exclusives where me and you need to just sit and talk movies.
Yeah,
because we need to go through. We need to like break down like the Saw franchise and stuff. That would be so much fun to sit and talk about. But anyway,
we need to do some mainline videos like that. Like we'll do like one on your channel, one on my channel, and we'll just have like videos where we talk movies. That would be fun.
Okay.
But I think
so stay tuned for that.
Here, I think we'll leave this off here.
Right.
As, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 is the only good movie in the entire series.
It's not where we're leaving off.
No, that's where we're leaving. All the other ones suck. Unless you want to argue that both are the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is good.
All right. When I pick up all your subscribers, I'll let you know.
I have a video on my channel.
My numbers are going through the roof, bro. And you're like, I'm bleeding crazy.
Dude, to this day, you know how you have those videos that randomly get comments on and still get people to watch them?
Yeah.
One of mine is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 sucks. I have a video on my channel.
I don't do this podcast anymore.
I have a video on my channel. The moment I watched that movie, I hit record and started talking shit about that. I have a skit in it where I run screaming across my yard, all fat, and I run like across my yard screaming.
All right, I'm going to dig this up. That's awesome.
You gotta watch it. It's fun. It's fun. All right, catch you guys later. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Good night, everyone.
That was a fun way to end it, dude.
That was a good episode.
Well, I'm looking at the ratings, dude. In Texas, the 2003 movie, I got kind of shit on by like the critics too, and the original has like fucking 84 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's fucking retarded.
I feel like you're right, because I think that it did get like panned and shit all over when it came out in 2003, because that was an era of some pretty good scary movies in hindsight. Yeah. Like when we get to like 2012, 2013, when it just plummets and Blumhouse takes over 100% of the game and everybody's just trying to make more Blumhouse movies, like we had it pretty fucking good from like late 90s to like 2008, 2009.
Like we were talking about them the other day, like hide and seek, and like you look at like 2000s horror, it was just crazy. But I think that people like saw like this was like the early remake era, and people saw this as like a slap to the original, because it was and a lot of people I think hold the original up to such a high bar, and they don't retroactively go rewatch it.
I would like to go back and rewatch it, especially if we're gonna have these debates, this should just be an ongoing debate. Like I'm just gonna keep defending 1974 blindly until I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch it and be like, you know what, he's kind of right.